Hello there, Sagittarius. Thank you so much for stopping by for your deep dive video. We're going to look at 5 topics as selected with the Lenormand cards at random. At random, not at random. We're letting Spirit select our 5 topics that we're diving into for you. This reading is going to be good for about the next 28 to 30 days, something like that. I've got it set up kind of like a monthly, so we're probably going to be watching a particular situation that's important to you as it unfolds and taking a peek at it, getting advice for you along the way. We're starting off with the whip. That came out all on its own first. I think somebody else had the whip first. Maybe that was Scorpio. Scorpio or Libra. Somebody recent. Anyway, Sagittarius, let's look at your next topics. Yep, there's your next one. You guys have cards popping. You're the first one that's had my Lenormand deck popping. Second topic is going to be the stars. The stars talk about clarity. By the way, the whip talks about conversations, debates, arguments sometimes. Sometimes it can talk about exciting things in the bedroom, let's say. Bondage topics, S&M topics, stuff like that. And then the stars talk about clarity, understanding of things. Nice to have a clarity card coming up after a card that may be indicating arguments or debates. Let's see. What do we have after that? Third topic. Oh, this is either about a child or about some kind of new beginning, one or the other. All of these cards have multiple meanings, so we're going to find out more about what these are about as we clarify and open these up with the tarot here in a minute. I am going to be looking at these with the Hush Tarot, each of these topics, and then after that I'll look at the Light Seers Tarot for our best advice or insight around our situation for each topic. So, boopity-doo-doo. So far, all 5 of these topics have been tying together in all the videos I've done so far. You're the 8th video I've done like this. Okay, we have the mountain showing up for our 4th topic. Mountains talk about things that are at a distance. If you happen to live near mountains, this can talk about something happening in the mountains. This can also talk about some kind of obstacle. Like it's kind of hard to cross a mountain. It takes some energy and effort to do that. It's not like crossing the room. Okay, let's see what our 5th topic is. We're Sagittarians. We have the ring. Now, the ring can talk about a couple of things. The ring can talk about cycles, or it can talk about things that we commit to. Contracts, agreements, people, whether we're committing to something romantic or whether we're committing to some other kind of contract or agreement. Okay, so let's see here. Can be written or verbal, either one, for the contract or agreement. Let's go ahead and set these off to the side and let's dig into our first topic, Sagittarius. Okay, let's see what we have. So with the whip, let's expand this. What do my Sagittarian viewers need to know about the whip here? Boopity-doo. Well, there's your first card. Your first 2 cards. We're going to take the top one and call it the first. After that, we've got this. There's your card right there, Sagittarius. Always take it as a good omen when your card shows up. Even if it's reversed, it's still a good omen when it shows up in your own reading. Okay, so for the whip, what do we have here? We have the Ace of Wands in reverse. We have Temperance in reverse. And we have the Devil in reverse. Well, the Devil's right side up. I wish it was in reverse. Okay. Oh, seeing something new on this card. That's interesting. You guys, check out this card. Right here. Trying to get the glare off of that spot. I don't know how clear you can see this, but there's a lock with a key sticking out of it. And the the haspy, the crooked haspy thing, that is broken. It's like pulled away so that it's not even really connecting. It's connected to the chain, but it's completely open. So this is even more unchained than our regular devil card would be on the Rider-Waite. Very interesting. Very interesting. Sorry for that silent moment there. I had to sneeze, and I did not want to do that in your ear. And I probably won't remember to edit that out later. So it is what it is. Now, let's see here. The Ace of Wands in reverse, to me, this talks about passing along some kind of inspiration. We're inspiring others around us. We are setting some kind of courageous example or some kind of solid example for somebody. The Temperance card talks about impatience. I think we are setting some kind of example for somebody, or we're trying to inspire somebody, but we're really impatient here, Sagittarius. When I look at the Devil card, we're really impatient because we feel like this person is not paying any kind of attention. They could be. They've got the mask on. They could be paying really good attention, but they don't act like it. And I think we're really impatient because they're not understanding us. They're not coming on the same page with us, or they're not catching on fast enough. And so that's very impatience. It's very impatience making. And that, by the way, is your card right there, that Temperance card in reverse. Talks about impatience. This person also, wow, with Temperance in reverse and the Devil, part of the reason this person may not be catching on is that they may have some kind of addiction issue, or it may be that what you're trying to show them is that they don't have to have an addiction issue and they're not catching on to that. You guys could be kind of going toe to toe about this idea of their addiction issue. All right. Let's look at our insights or advice here. Dang, this is kind of heavy. It's kind of heavy, Sag. I'm just going to tell you straight up. This looks like it could be one of those where I just say, should put on your safety belt and your hard hat for this reading. The reason I'm saying that is because your insights or your advice here shows the Queen of Pentacles in reverse, which is somebody who's been generous to someone in their sphere of influence. So by you're trying to inspire somebody, you may have been, spending energy and effort that you normally wouldn't be spending trying to inspire this person here. With the page, okay, but you're not doing that anymore. With the Queen of Pentacles, either your advice is to cut off your generosity towards this person because it's actually enabling them rather than helping them get a leg up, which is always why the Queen of Pentacles cuts off her generosity when she comes up in reverse. We've got the Page of Cups. This says that as you, well, let's talk about this. We have the Eight of Cups too. Eight of Cups is my walk-away card. This is something that's making me feel exhausted or depleted. It's time for me to walk away from this because I've got nothing left to give here, basically, is what this is. It's too frustrating. It's too much. It's overwhelming. I just got to walk away. Now, with the Page of Cups coming right before the walk-away card, this tells me that with this person, and especially, I can see how this would be especially true if we're talking about somebody who has an addiction issue. With this person, you've got to quit enabling them. And as you quit with whatever generosity you've been giving them, you want to make sure that they know that you really do care about them, because obviously you do. Otherwise, you wouldn't have advice to let them know how much you actually care about them. But you still have to walk away. So basically, this is like walking away, but it's saying basically, listen, I don't hate you. I don't resent you. I still love you. But I have to leave. I have to walk away from this situation. So we're not being mean about it. We're not being hateful. We're not burning any bridges even. And we're not throwing any insults or any slurs. This is just saying, I can't continue the generosity I've been giving you, even though I love you so much. I need to leave. Okay? So that's what we have there for this whole argument or debate. This argument or debate, for most of you, I think, is going to have to do with somebody's somebody's addiction issue. And I think you're realizing that sticking in this addiction issue, you're not able to change anything. You haven't been able to change anything. And so now it's time for you to just walk away and let that person sort of figure it out on their own, at least for a while. I mean, you might hope that you guys can come back together, but that's never a guarantee with that type of situation. All right, so second topic is the stars. Now, the stars talk about clarity, real true clarity and understanding of something. And interesting because that really feeds into, I mean, it's kind of that clarity that allows somebody to walk away from a situation like that. But let's see what Spirit wants to say about this clarity. What do you want to tell Sagittarius about this clarity that you're putting in this next topic? Boobity-doo. Or it could be something happening at night, but I think it's clarity. Maybe you're getting clarity at night. Oh, I forgot to silence my phone. I apologize, guys. Let me take care of that. Okay. So, when we're looking at clarity here, this is clarity around the idea of holding something back. With the Four of Pentacles, traditionally it's been taught as the Miser card, although I've never really seen it as the Miser card as much as it's a card that does talk about holding something back, maybe holding something back for the future, saving something away, stashing it back, or if we're talking emotionally speaking, which I think we actually are, I think this is like, I'm protecting my heart basically in this situation. That's what we see with this card for you guys, Sagittarius, that you're in the space where you feel like you have to protect your heart. Now, I know this is Pentacles, and most people would figure this as Earth or maybe as something healthy. But I feel like just the way that bag is right over her heart chakra, this is telling me that, in this case, it's popping out to me that you're really protecting your emotions. You're protecting your heart. You don't want to have your heart dragged through the mud anymore, basically. And with the Moon card coming up here, this says that, this may be something that you're not really sharing. You may not be telling somebody, look, I'm stepping back because I need to protect my heart. You may not be sharing that just right now. And I think that also it talks about this idea that you're hoping that by holding back on this situation allows things to happen that are not visible at the top, maybe something to trigger in this other person's subconscious even. Now, we have the Ten of Pentacles in reverse, which basically feeds into that Moon, basically says that you're holding back in hopes of adding to somebody's security and stability. You're hoping to add to your own stability and security by holding back. But also, you're hoping that by holding back, then unseen forces will do something so that this other person can be more stable and secure as well. For me, that Ten of Pentacles, when it's in reverse, it talks about up leveling in our stability and security. So that's why I keep saying that. And I used a wrong. Well, I guess not the wrong deck because everything happens for a reason. I thought I was going to end with that deck, but okay, whatever. Spirit's got it all figured out. All right, so best advice or insight around this idea of holding back in hopes of added stability for Sagittarius, and not only for Sagittarius, but also hoping that this holding back will add stability to this other person as well. Let's see what we have. King of Wands. There's another U card right there. One of your court cards. Boopity-dee-dee, boopity-dee. All right, so Sagittarius. Yeah. You're holding back is a part of your plan. You're hoping to, you're walking away. We saw you walking away on this topic. Here you're holding back. This tells me somebody's trying to come back and you're saying, "No, I got to stick with what I was doing." So you're holding back. This is kind of a plan. Like you really are hoping that this will add some stability and security to the other person, definitely. Also to yourself with this Hermit card. This is the Hermit card is also the major card for Virgo. And Virgo is a little bit reclusive. They like to study and they like to just be by themselves. They do a lot of self improvement, and they're also very aware, very grounded, very aware of their own situation, and they like to do things to improve their own situation. So, I think part of your plan is to improve your own situation, even as you're hoping something will happen and this person will become more stable as well. And I think you're also kind of hoping that as this person becomes more stable, then maybe you can try again with wherever your relationship was before. That's what it looks to me like you're hoping for. I don't want to say that these cards say that that will happen, but I really feel like what I'm getting here is this idea that that's what you're hoping for. And I think you're hoping for it because you've had some kind of clarity around this situation. And maybe the clarity was that, what you were doing before wasn't working. So you have to do something different to see if you can shake things loose and have them come out in a different way. All right. Let's move on to topic number 3. Okay, topic number 3 is a new beginning or a child. Let's see. We'll see a little bit more as we open up. We want to open up with which cards? I'm getting my cards all stacked up together. Okay, we're opening up with the Hush this time, like I planned originally. So let's take a peek at our new beginning, our child card, our 13 card. I think 13 cards are lucky. 13 anything is lucky. In some of the Native American traditions, there are 13 grandmothers or 13 female ancestors called grandmothers that we can call on. Only 8 grandfathers. Isn't that interesting? All right, let's see what we have here for this card. Okay, so as you're holding back from this other person, you have a new beginning in your own life coming up here. You're actually moving away from drama and from chaos into something that's much more calm and more smooth. Look at this. You've got the Page of Wands. I think that as you're seeing what you're moving into, as you get a little bit of that under your belt, I think you're getting pretty excited about what you're moving into. You're getting excited about moving into the peacefulness here. And then with this Two of Cups in reverse, it looks to me like you're kind of realizing that this person, who may have addiction issues that you had to walk away from, I think as you're having the time to get some objectivity here, you're starting to realize, I'm not sure what I saw in that person. Or maybe even it's a little kinder than that. Maybe it's even, I know what I saw in that person originally, but they're not so attractive to me anymore. I think the more space you get, the less attractive they seem to you. And so this is a whole new beginning for you. It's kind of a reset. As you're withdrawing your generosity towards this person, that either has an addiction issue or also could have been taking advantage of you, maybe an either or there. But yeah, as you're getting away from it, you're starting to realize it's giving you the space to start to evaluate this in a more objective way rather than in an emotionally twisted way. And it's helping you to realize, I'm not really into that. I don't know that I want to go back to that. Where here we saw you hoping that there would be like a new start later. Now we see you a couple of weeks from now, we see you actually realizing, Maybe I don't want a new start. Maybe that was pie in the sky. But you're very excited about, well, a new start with them, I should say that you don't want, but you're very excited about this new start that you have for yourself. I think you're excited about being away from the chaos and the drama, especially. Now, let's look at insight or advice. Okay. Wow. All right, so we've got two majors. Two majors. Now, this would be for Aries and this would be for Leo. So you may have either one of those kind of strong in your chart. Excuse me. But we've got the Emperor, we've got the Sun, we've got the King of Swords in reverse. The Emperor talks about the idea that this moving from drama and chaos into peacefulness allows you to take more control over your own life. And the Sun talks about you finding happiness. This kind of says the same thing, the Page of Wands. It says, I'm starting to realize that, walking away from that situation was a good thing. It makes me enthusiastic and happy. The Sun just really is an expanded version of happiness. So we like that. It's where you can walk in happiness. You can walk in your own genuineness. You're not having to walk on eggshells. You're just walking around in the truth and you're helping whoever you feel like helping. You're not limited or restricted when the Sun comes up here. So I really, really, really like that. And then when we've got the Two of Cups in reverse, then we've got the King of Swords in reverse. This talks about this idea that once you realize that, oh, you know what? Now that I'm being more objective, I don't know that I want to move forward with that at all again, ever. The King of Swords really kind of says that you may go quiet on this person after cutting off your generosity with them. I think what's more likely here, because you cut off your generosity and then you walked away. So I don't think you've really been talking with this person, especially with what we've got going on here where you're getting objective. I think this person may reach out to you. I don't think you're even responding. Like if they text you or if they leave you a voicemail or email, whatever, I don't think you even respond to that. With that King of Swords, you're just being quiet. And you're being quiet because you realize, I'm not really, I thought I wanted that to start up again if they got their stuff straight. Now I'm starting to realize, maybe not. Maybe not. Okay, so we see you being really quiet there because you have your own new beginning and you're really enjoying your own new beginning. All right, let's look at our fourth topic. Here we're looking at the mountain. I want to kind of stack these up because I like my topic I'm looking at to be in the middle. Okay, so mountain, we already said, could be something going on in the mountains if you live near the mountains. Could also be an obstacle, is the word I'm looking for, that you're going to have to work through. We're going to see. I don't know, with that new beginning. You could all be traveling to the mountains, enjoying your new beginning. Let's see. Let's see how this plays out here. I want to straighten this up, but if I straighten it up, it is pretty straight. I think I just wanted to move it higher. All right, let's take a peek. What do you want to say to Sagittarius about this mountain card? What does that indicate for them? Please and thank you, Sacred Spirit. Wow, guys. Oh, Sagittarius. Okay. I'm going to say, I think your obstacle here And I do think this is an obstacle. I don't see any kind of travel here, so this is not like going to the mountains or something happening in the mountains. But I've got my Two of Cups in reverse. Well, remember, we just had this in the other deck. Gosh, I just flip-flopped again, didn't I? We just had this in the other deck, basically in the same position. And so this is, I think your obstacle is that you're realizing that I'm just not as into that as I used to be. And I think you're overcoming that obstacle. I think that's why it's the last card here. I think this is how you're overcoming that obstacle. So here we have the Five of Pentacles in reverse, which to me talks about doing something that loosens up things financially, or it brings some kind of physical healing even. Could even be putting you more in touch socially. But I feel like this is bringing you some kind of physical healing, actually. It's interesting because I think what I'm feeling like is going on here with that Two of Cups in reverse. I feel like you may have felt really guilty about losing affection for this person at the same degree that you had it before, at least. And that's kind of been your obstacle that has kept you from moving completely forward with this whole new start that we just saw you having. You're kind of questioning yourself and what kind of person are you? What happened to your loyalty? Those types of things. Um, hmm. And I think you're overcoming that. Well, no, let me go back. I feel like this feeling that surrounds this energy has been making you feel kind of sick physically. I think you've been sort of holding that energy in. You haven't been talking to anybody about it. You haven't been journaling it. You haven't been letting that out in any way or really dealing with it or facing it. And so I think you may be feeling like, well, here's this person that, they have an addiction, maybe they have something wrong. And if that's actually an illness and I'm walking away from them, then you might be feeling guilty about that. I've been there. And if that's the case, then what you need to know is that, we're each responsible for what we do with our lives, but we can't control other people. So we have to do the best we can with our lives, and we have to, have faith that the other people will figure out how to do the best they can with their lives. But if they're not doing that, we have no control over that. We can't force that to happen. We have to give them free will. Spirit gave them free will. We have to give them free will. So I think there's almost like an abandonment guilt over abandoning this person who had problems. And it looks to me like the idea of being around other people helps that, and allowing yourself to become stable and secure, allowing yourself to look at this from different perspectives, more objective perspectives maybe even going to see a counselor, allows you to feel more stable and secure. And it's interesting because I think the more stable and secure you start to feel, the more you're able to let loose of some of these feelings here by communicating with other people. I think that actually allows you to overcome this obstacle. You get to the point that, oh, maybe I don't have anything to feel guilty about. And then we see you secure, stable, and also more healthy. Whatever this is that you were holding this in, and so it's caused some kind of physical problem. Is it a rash? Is it a headache? Is it something bigger than that? I don't know. That's going to be different for different ones of you. Now, it could also be impacting your finances as well, because it has been impacting your energy, or it will have been by the time we get to this point in the month from now. So about 3/4 of a month from now-ish. Could have been influencing your finances as well. But as your finances get better, also you feel more stable and secure, if that's the case. But my intuitive senses are not pinging so much on the finance stuff, and maybe that's because that's literally on the cards. But my intuitive senses are pinging a lot more on the physical heart that has to do with the feelings of guilt or remorse that are tied to this card of how come I'm not still into that person anymore. All right, let's look at best advice or insight around this situation. Okay, so we're starting off with the Hanged Man. This says, this might be some self-work. You might have to go in and really understand what all is going on with you to be able to get over this obstacle or break through this. My Two of Wands in reverse basically says that, this is not the easiest thing to do. This is a little bit of a seesaw. Like some days are up, some days are down. Some days you're better at letting go of that guilt, and some days you're just wearing it like a badge. So there's a little bit of a seesaw there as you sort of work that out with yourself. There's definitely inner work there. And here you are again, King of Wands in reverse, so showing up again in your energy. This is the second time you've shown up as a king, which tells me that you are taking a lot of action during this month and around this topic. And so you may be taking some kind of action that allows you to really dig in. I think you're doing a lot of self-work here. And so you may be taking the type of action that would be journaling. You may be doing something more creative, more artistic to take action to help you dig into this. And for those of you who are not actually digging into this and doing the self-work, where this leads with that King of Wands in reverse, that leads to feeling depressed or blue, not your outgoing, usual positive self. So it's really important for you to get beyond these negative feelings. It's really important for you to do some self-work here along the way and really examine, where do those feelings come from? Are they reasonable for this situation? If they're not, then what is reasonable? And if they are reasonable, are you just having a sane reaction to an insane situation? What's going on here? Is there a better way to handle it? So you want to kind of start doing that self-work and pulling those things apart. Pulling apart that monkey mind with that monkey bread. Okay, now let's look at our last topic. Okay, the ring. Oh, I'm a little worried that this ring might talk about cycles. I hope not, because we don't want to be repeating that cycle. Although if you're growing and the ultimate outcome of that cycle is that growth, doing that self-work, okay, maybe we do want to repeat it until we get to a good place. As long as you're not repeating getting back and forth into a situation with this person that makes you feel exhausted and depleted. All right, let's take a look. Take a look, take a look. What do my Sagittarius friends need to know about this ring? Ring, ring, ring. I don't know why I decided to add a whole new syllable there. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Oh, guys, I don't think you're getting into... Okay, I do think this is about cycles. I also think you're not getting into another cycle like this with this person again. You're not going to repeat that cycle. I think you've kind of tasted freedom. You've tasted liberty, especially once you've done some of that work. I don't think you're repeating a cycle with that person. In fact, when the opportunity comes up for you to get back into engaging with this person, I think that whole idea just totally stresses you out. You know right off the bat it's not going to work. We've got a track record. We know how well this works. Not going to work. King of Pentacles in reverse basically says, I am not in any way, shape, or form adding to whatever has already been done in this situation. Okay? A Knight of Pentacles says, I'm not putting any energy or effort into this when it comes up in reverse. The King of Pentacles says there's been energy put into this, but I'm not putting any more. I'm not putting any more energy in. And I think it's because you're coming to that realization that it's kind of a waste. We already had the Two of Cups in reverse twice. You're already not really drawn into this situation like you used to be anymore. And a lot of that is going to be because of the self-work that you've done. That's what sets us free from getting back into those cycles again and again and again. All right, so let's look at your best advice or heads up around this. Look at that Devil in reverse. We like it. He was right side up last time we saw him in that other deck, so we like it that he's in reverse. Yeah. I think what's going on here is you have this person is coming back, trying to get you sort of sucked back into that situation with them. And you're really stressed out about, they're probably telling you, you know, whatever that toxic behavior was or that addiction was, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm clean now. I'm straight. I'm whatever. You're really stressed out about that. You're stressed out about, is this person really clean and straight? If they are, how long is that really going to last? You already know it's not going to work from past. This Five of Cups says basically, you know, I'm forgiving this person for whatever happened in the past, and maybe they couldn't help it. And it's a little easier to forgive them because they are saying, okay, I'm not doing that anymore. And the Eight of Pentacles is really interesting. So here we have the Eight of Pentacles reversed. Here we have the Eight of Pentacles right side up. Here's the thing. We already saw that you're not putting energy and effort into this situation anymore. You don't want that cycle. With this Eight of Pentacles, this is telling me that you are focusing your energy on work rather than, or possibly even working something out with somebody else. But we already know it doesn't work here. We already know you're not putting energy here. You're changing your focus. You're actually forgiving this person. I think your stress is about, oh, I don't know if I can trust them. And I think that's part of why you're recognizing this doesn't work, because you're too stressed out about, well, how long are they going to stay clean or whatever their situation is, non-toxic. Are they really non-toxic? I think you're recognizing that kind of stress doesn't work. You're forgiving them because you're coming to an understanding that they weren't totally and completely in control of themselves the way they would be if they were actually non-toxic. And the Eight of Pentacles, I really feel like, especially with that King of Coins in reverse, I really feel like you're focusing on work, or you're focusing on working something out with somebody else. In fact, we can clarify that. Is this Sagittarius focusing on work or focusing on working out some kind of relationship with somebody else? Breaking that cycle, finding something more healthy. Let's see. Either one is fine. There's no judgment either way. Yeah, this is definitely, you're moving on to creating something new with somebody else. We've got the Lovers here, which talks about partnership. We've got the Magician, talks about manifestation. Guess what else it talks about? Great chemistry, sizzling hot action behind the closed bedroom doors. Well, closed is your preference, but whatever. And the Sun talks about good times that are shared together with somebody else with no limitations or restrictions. So it looks to me here like your best advice is let this go. You know, you're already not attracted to it anymore. You're not going to be putting energy and effort into it. Forgiving, and that's part of letting something go, is forgiving. Otherwise, we carry that load around with us. And actually, I see you moving on. There's something that is pretty beautiful showing up here. Showing up here as soon as you open the door and let it in, basically. So, yeah, is this a romantic relationship for a lot of you? I would say for probably 70-80% of you, yes. Is this like a friendship or something else for the rest of you? I would say probably. But for a lot of you, this is, I would say for the majority of you, this is about some kind of romantic relationship or partnership. And I think that this is going to be something, I don't have anywhere do I have a Hierophant in reverse. So this is not going to be for those of you who are married or happily married or not happily married even, because that Hierophant in reverse didn't show up. We don't have a divorce here. We just have moving on from one relationship that's not working out so much to moving on to one that has, at least has chemistry. There's the Magician there. It has a good prognosis with that Magician, not only chemistry wise, but also being able to create what you want with that other person. And with the Sun card in reverse, this is mutual. Both of you being able to create what you want inside this new relationship. So it's very promising. Moving on with the new situation is very promising. Where I think you're just tired from the old situation, and once you're more objective about it, you're not even going to want it. It's going to be a no-brainer to go forward with this other thing, Sagittarius. That's what I have to say about that. All right. Well, that was your reading, Sagittarius. I hope that you find it helpful. Yeah, and if you do, please put a thumbs up. Share this video with someone else who may find it helpful. And if you would like to book a private reading or a mentoring session, or I do have a tarot class and a reiki class, both coming up soon. All of that stuff is on my website. I also do parties, etc., etc. Find out all about me on my website. Everyone have a fantastic month, and I'll see you back on the next video. Peace out.